Hurry up, you only got like 30 seconds.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the No BS Real Estate Show, a podcast that gives you an inside look on how to make smart financial decisions while adding value to your life. I'm Matty Miller with ERA Real Estate, alongside my co-host and real estate investor extraordinaire, Ryan Robbins. Whether you're a longtime investor or a first-time buyer, join us as we dig through the everyday bullshit of real estate.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the No BS Real Estate Podcast. Apparently, I'm flying solo today because Ryan is supposed to be here, but apparently coffee is more important at this moment in time. Oh, and he's back. And there he is. He's got his coffee.
We're here.
We're here. We're ready to go. It's a Friday morning. We've had some technical difficulties trying to get this thing back up and ready, but come to find out, we are not audio video geniuses, but we did figure it out by the click of one button that we didn't know where it was at for a long time. So anyway, we're back and we're talking about today. We were talking about rehabbing rentals. Well, not even such rehabbing, but if we were going to sell either a rental property or our own property, what things would we do to get top dollar? And depending on what type of property it is, we're going to hit rentals and we're going to hit, personal homes that maybe, you were living in and, hey, I want to sell my property. How do I get the most bang for my buck back when I put it on the market? Whether it's kitchens and baths or, what do you need to do, and possibly some hacks to kind of maybe save you some money, but at the same time, get top dollar. So, Ryan, how are you, man?
Not doing too bad. It's a little bit earlier than we normally go, so I apologize for the late slide in here. Yeah. So grabbing some coffee, wrapping up some contracts from yesterday, and talking about some rehabs.
It's good stuff. Yeah, I just picked up two new property management contracts as well. So awesome. The market's rolling. It was our little Jack's Beach guy.
Okay, fantastic. So
that was
duplex down at the beach. Actually, that's where I went under contract yesterday with a buyer on a condo. Oceanfront condo, right down in Jack's Beach. So yeah,
rental or for their home?
To purchase, to live in.
To purchase for them.
So it's going to be a second home for them.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
cool. So snowbirds?
Not snowbirds, believe it or not. Yeah, they actually just live on the other side of the intercoastal. So just a short little weekend getaway. Nice little 5-10 minute commute down the road.
I was say 10 minutes down the road.
10 minutes down the road. Yeah.
Okay.
Go 10 stories up and just get the view. So
all right. Well, they were just going to say it might be, maybe they have people coming in town every now and then, and they can, let them stay there.
Yeah, exactly. They've got kids that are older, so when they come into town, to be able to stay right on the beach.
Wish I could give my kids that.
One of these days.
That'd be nice, right?
You got to start with some kids first, and then
we'll get to the kid part. But
you can worry about the high rise on this later.
Anyway, all right. So let's go into this. So we are going to sell a rental property. Let's start there first. So we're going to sell a rental property. What do we need to do to get top dollar from the rental market? And I'm going to say rental market, I mean sales. Somebody specifically buying a home to make it a rental. You're probably going to sell to another investor. What are the steps we need to take to get that updated for an investor to come in and say, hey, this is a turnkey rental. This is what I want. Perfect. Let's go. What do you think we need to do here?
Yeah, so I'm going to say, like anything else, it's going to depend drastically on area, but kind of your broad, unless you're on some way high-end market, I would say your average rental you're going to keep it relatively basic. So if you're going to go through and do new paint and, carpet some flooring, or if it's tile, you're going to do a good cleaning. There's not a whole lot on the inside aside from, again, kind of doing a once over. If you've got, tiled showers, maybe doing a reglaze on the showers. In the bathroom, spruce those up a bit. If your appliances are in working order, leave them as fine. Is. 9 times out of 10,
get them cleaned.
Fine. Yeah, but as far as I would say rehabbing to bring to a rental market. No, I mean you don't got to go over the top with granite. You don't need soft closing cabinets, things like that.
Let's talk about over improvement. And there's a thing, and this has actually happened. I had a client at one point in time. We were in probably a C, let's say between a C and a D class neighborhood. Let's call it a C minus. C minus neighborhood, and he went in, and these are all homes built in the 50s, 1950s. This has been probably 4 or 5 years ago. So he went into this house, and this is, again, it's not a great neighborhood. There's a lot of rentals in the neighborhood. And he went in and he basically put in granite countertops, like the most expensive fixtures you could find from Lowe's, just the works. I mean, we're talking everything, all brand new, like quartz counter. It was either quartz or granite, one of the two. Just soft close cabinets, same type of stuff. Just way over improved the property for what he did, and he wanted us to rent it for him. He was a client of ours. This is at an old company that I was at, and he basically was upset when we told him, we can't get what you want, what you need to rent it for. We can't do it.
Yeah.
Because he over improved the property. So his rental price was based on all the money that he put into it and over improved it to where he probably could have saved himself. He probably put in this house, he bought it for probably 55 to 60, and he probably put in 75 into this house and wanted to rent it. I think it was for like 12 or $1,300. And this is, most homes in the neighborhood went for like 900,000, and like we couldn't get anybody to get it. I couldn't get anybody to rent it. And he wondered why. And he said, well, I made this thing so nice. It's just decked out. And I'm like, that's great, but the neighborhood doesn't call for it. So there is such a thing as over improvement. And basically in layman's terms, it's basically, if you go into a property, rental properties need basic countertops, and depending on where the property is. So if you're renting, if you have a rental on Jack's Beach, or do you have a rental in Ponte Vedra, Florida, that's 3,000 square feet on the beach, or well, there's probably not many 3,000 square foot homes on the beach. They're more like 6,000, but again, depending on if you're buying an average rental in most of your, let's say in Indianapolis, Houston, Texas, Denver, Colorado, Jacksonville, San Diego, whatever, some of those markets there, just do normal stuff.
Yeah.
Do a basic wood countertop with maybe a veneer over the top. You don't have to do anything fancy. Just do normal things. Don't do soft close cabinets. Don't worry about that stuff. That's not going to get you your money back on a rental property. There's a lot of people that do that. So, and I don't know why they want to do it. Well, if I put the expensive cabinets in, I'm going to get more for my money on my rental. No, that's not the way it works.
No. And I would say your first step should be probably before you're going to start spending money on the renovation side of it, look in the current rental market and see what's on the market, see what things are going for, and base everything off of that. If you see everything's going for 900 with this level, well, and nothing else is going for 1,000 or 1,200, it doesn't matter what you put into it. You can put a golden toilet. No one's going to pay you the extra $300 a month.
Doesn't matter. All you want to do is, if this is the nicest home in the neighborhood, we just want to be here. Just a slight step above. And it's probably more, not that you may be nicer, it's maybe just newer, because tenants, they come in and they see new and they just assume that it's nice. Where it may not be. It can be cheap cabinets. Who cares? But don't put in something that's good, because tenants beat the crap out of things anyway. So you put in brand new expensive cabinets, you're talking in 7-8 years, you might have to replace them anyway because they're beat to crap. But if you put cheap ones in, again, might be 7-8 years, but I'm putting the cheap ones in because it's the same time frame.
Yeah.
So
I would say that on some of the smaller things too, like carpet. Someone's going to spend a couple $100 to have your carpets cleaned, but odds are you may just spend an extra $100 to $200 and get brand new carpets.
Just replace.
You don't need top of the line carpets. Just do your basic carpets.
I had a client one time who said the same thing. He said, man, we put in this really expensive carpet. And I said, why didn't you ask me before you did that?
Yeah.
And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, just tenants beat the crap out of carpet, man. And he was pissed that, in 4 years that he had to replace this carpet that he spent $5,000 on. And I'm like, dude, you could have put in $1,800 carpet and got the same result.
Yep.
So when it comes to carpet and paint, paint's something that I don't mind spending a little money on, especially if you're doing a semi-gloss or something like that. If you're doing something decent, don't do a flat paint. People walk by and they get fingerprints on it and it looks like crap. I would do a decent paint. And typically right now we're doing gray. We're doing a lot of gray stuff in our rentals. So gray paint is perfect. It's a neutral color.
Keep
Everybody
it neutral
does that
across the house. Don't do your bedroom's one color, your living room one color, your closet's another color. Everything is the same color. Keep it simple. No one's going to care. It's going to look new. It's going to look fresh.
Correct. And looking new and looking fresh is perfect. Another little hack, if rentals right now, the best product that I've found for flooring is basically the vinyl plank flooring, which it comes in a bunch of different colors. So you can kind of whatever color you want, whether you want, a darker wood or a lighter wood or a grayish, kind of that ash looking color. That stuff's awesome. And I'll tell you why it's great in rentals. If the tenant damages one strip of it, they can literally just rip out the strip, which first of all, if the damage is stuff, you basically have to, you're taking a hacksaw to it. It's almost, it's perfect. So what people used to use, they used to put in the laminate wood. When the laminate wood got wet, it'd puff up and it'd warp. So that stuff was great, and everybody thought it was awesome. Oh, it's cheap wood flooring. It's wood flooring. No, it's not wood flooring. It's laminate wood flooring that if it gets wet, it's ruined. And let's be honest, with plumbing issues and rental properties and everything else, and tenants spilling Kool-Aid on the floor or whatever it is, things are going to get wet. They're going to get damaged. So the vinyl plank, honestly, we had a flood in the unit. We had put in brand new vinyl plank flooring on the unit next to it. So it wasn't actually our unit that flooded. So the unit next to it flooded, and we put in brand new vinyl plank flooring in this unit. Honestly, came over there, dried it out, put a fan in, mopped it all up. No damage whatsoever. Because all it is a little thin sheet of vinyl rubber.
Yep.
Then right on the slab. And it's freaking perfect. There's a little floor prep involved if you're doing an older home because they have to smooth things out. But that is like... It's tenant. What's the word I'm looking for? Tenant proof, I guess. Tenant proof. It's just really hard to damage. So if anybody's doing a rental out there and they're gonna flip or sell, that vinyl plank stuff is great. Carpet's awesome, but you got to replace it, every 3-4 years, every 2 years, sell every year sometimes.
I was gonna say sometimes after every tenant, after every tenant in there.
Yeah, for sure. Carpet's great, but yeah, that stuff's awesome. So what we've been doing is putting the vinyl plank basically in the living areas, kitchen, bathrooms, living room, main entry, and then going carpet in the bedrooms, because carpet in the bedroom on a 10x10 bedroom costs you $150.
Yeah.
For brand new. So, and that's carpet and pad. So, all right. If we're going to do that, like I said, those are just some tricks and some of the products that we've been using, on our properties lately. So, and we're going to switch the subject here. You got anything to add on the rentals aspect of it? I think
that's it. I think we pretty much hit a wall.
Yeah. Don't over improve. Don't over improve. Use products that are going to be durable and lasting, and
check your market ahead of time. Make sure you're within what's, reasonable within the market you're in.
Correct. Yep. And most importantly, ask your agent. Yeah. Ask somebody in real estate.
Ask your property manager.
Ask your property manager. Ask your agent. Whoever sold you the house, whoever do it, ask them what their thought is. They will have some information to give you. So, let's shift it back to, if we're going to sell a house that is something that is not a rental, it's going to be a home. It's going to be a homesteaded property. Let's put it that way. Versus a true rental. So the old adage is, if you're going to sell your home, you only make money in your kitchens and bathrooms, right?
That's what they say.
That's what they say. Okay. Well, what they say is, it's not overly wrong, but there are places you can make money at, or protect your investment. So I'm going to start there with a roof. My favorite argument is, well, it's got a brand new roof. It should be worth more. The answer to that is no. A roof is something that has to be on the property. It is not an asset. It is not. I don't care if you put on the most expensive roof in the world. Okay. I don't care if you put on the nicest architectural shingles with diamonds in it. It does not add value to your home. Maybe with diamonds in there,
maybe.
But yeah, just say, but it does not add value to your home. You have to have a roof to have a home. So, I guess you don't, but then I'd consider you probably homeless. But yeah, so that's my favorite one. Well, you just put a brand new roof on. great. Okay, it's got a little bit of value for the newer roof, but it's not a value add. If they don't have to replace it, they're more apt to buy that property because they don't have to do an upfront cost when they purchase the home. The sooner they purchase it. So if they got 10 years left on a roof, hey, great. It's one thing I don't have to worry about when we buy the house is a roof. We're good, because it's typically your largest cost on any home unless you're doing full renovations. On something that you have to have, roof, AC, windows can get pretty expensive depending on how big the home is or how big the windows are.
Plumbing and electric, but those are very few and far between. You're not going to do those as often as
you're talking about replacing a hot water heater. You're talking about, doing one fixture at a time. Unless you're remodeling a bathroom or a kitchen, your roof's typically your biggest big ticket item that you're going to have to worry about. So again, does it help for you to sell your home if you have a new roof? Yes. Is it a value add? Not technically, because it's required. So yeah, don't call me and say, hey, well, I got a brand new roof on, I should get $20,000 more for my house. Why? Because you can shed water?
Hey.
Because you can shed water off your home. That's why. Okay. Congratulations. You have a working roof. You have, let's say you need a roof, walls, and some flooring. You have one of 3 working components to a home. Assuming you have the other 2, you might have 3 of 3. Congratulations. So anyway,
if we knock off a roof, let's not talk roof, kitchen, or bath, because we know, your kitchen and baths, generally you're going to, sometimes get close to dollar for dollar what you're putting in. And depending on what you're doing, it's going to bring significantly more value versus what was in to begin with. So what are some, I guess, smaller items that could be tackled around the home, either inside or outside, to kind of bring that value when you're bringing it to market? And I guess we wanted to use an example. Let's say, again, kitchen was updated within the last 10 years. Same thing with the bathrooms, but everything else is a bit more dated. Maybe those are 20 to 25-year-old, floors. Maybe you haven't done anything outside in a while.
Okay. Very typical in the area. I live in the Mandarin area in Jacksonville. So a lot of homes built in the early 90s, late 80s. A lot of homes are built in T111 siding, which might be the worst building material of all time, in my personal opinion. So one big value add that people have done on homes in this area or just of that time frame, it's not just necessarily this area. There's a lot of, 1980s, 1990s homes that were built with that, especially in the state of Florida, is changing the siding, going to a hardy board, which is a more durable product. That is, and again, siding, one of those things that, hey, once you put the hardy board on, by the way, hardy board, whoever decided to make that, was it Ed? Did Ed make hardy board? Is that who did that?
Ed Hardy.
Yeah, was it him?
I don't know if he made it or he was the marketer behind it, but
okay. I thought it was him. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, Ed Hardy, that's
with the t-shirts and the cologne and everything, I just figured he was, into cement fiber siding. No, joking aside. I don't know who created it, where it started. I have no idea, but it is a cement fiber board that can basically, once you put it on a home, from what I understand, it's good for about 30 to 40 years versus T111 or even a wood. We see a lot of cedar siding around Jacksonville, especially in Florida in general, because cedar was thought to be, it was fairly termite proof. They didn't like it. It would last long. But the hardy board is basically 50 years is what I'm being told. Some people say it might even last longer than that. So, because it's basically cement on the side of your home. So that's one value add that can come is hey, I got hardy board siding. I don't have to worry about it. You don't have to repaint it, essentially. Like, it just, I guess it soaks into the fiber, I guess, and it's virtually maintenance free. So that's a big add from that standpoint. Another one would be, let's say you got a pool, pool decks, things like that, pool decks, any kind of screen enclosures. Those are value adds. So if you have a pool and you don't have a screen enclosure and you do enclose it, that's a value add. Something like that. These are bigger items that I'm going after.
Yeah, I was going to say, one of the things, to that, if you have a screen enclosure already, and a pool deck already, one of the things you can do is you can buy just deck paint, repaint your pool deck, and go out and rescreen, again, your screen enclosure. You can buy those items, and essentially those are DIY projects, unless you have one where you've got to climb up on a ladder and do some of the screened-in tops. But if you've got a standard roof and you just have your basic screening, if you've got old tears in your screens, you can go out to Home Depot or Lowe's, buy a roll of screen, and again re-screen those yourself. The other thing, going back to kind of tying in with the rentals, is, hey, look, if you've got some older flooring and wonky colors all over your walls, make everything neutral. Put some, you can go back through with some, again, cheap carpet or cheaper carpet and a neutral color paint. And guess what? That's going to completely transform your house that's, sat the same way for the last 20 years.
It looks fresh. And that's kind of the key is make the home look fresh, brighten it up a little bit. If it's dark, lighter homes typically tend to sell quicker because they feel that, the more light you have in a property, the larger it feels. I guess I can't call it a fact. It's just the way we feel, I suppose. But the reason why we've seen all the things with the tiny homes and everything, and like they're half glass, most of them, because they have a lot of windows, because it allows the outside to kind of come inside, so it feels larger. So brighten it up, get some light in there, some natural light preferably, which is huge. One of the reasons why we bought the home we're in now is because there's no wall space. It's all windows on the one side of the house. So we're trying to hang our stuff, and we're like, well, can't really hang it on a window. So, which I'm not upset with, like I said, but it's just a lot of windows. But there's a lot of natural light that comes in, so it does feel larger. It's not a huge space overly. It's enough for us, but it feels larger than what it is. So brighten it up, whatever it may be. If you got, room darkening blinds, maybe get rid of those for the time being. I understand that, when you like to sleep or whatever, if you're asleep, somebody likes to sleep in and they got a room darkening blind in the bedroom and they walk into the master bedroom and looks like a vampire lives in there. You get rid of that darkening blind, brighten up a little bit. So, that's one thing there. So like other hacks and stuff like that. Like you hit up carpet, flooring, cheaper, just like I said, make it fresh.
Outside stuff, you can do simple things as landscaping. Landscaping goes a long way. If you haven't touched your yard, and not necessarily grass, everyone's going to keep up with your grass, but if you haven't done, trim your bushes, trim trees, things like that, in a few years, simple things, removing some of the old stuff, planting some new flowers, curb appeal is going to, be life-changing in the sense of getting people to physically look at your house and want to enter it.
As much as I hate red cypress cedar mulch, because I prefer rock, because you can put rock down and you're done. As much as I hate red cedar mulch, put it in. Okay. Freshen up the mulch, and you don't have to do a ton. If you have existing mulch, lay it over the top, because a really bright, vibrant red mulch looks like it's upkept. Okay. It does make your curb appeal better. And again, I hate mulch, but again, it's a hell of a lot cheaper than rock.
Depending on the house color, the brown mulch looks just as well.
Yep. Brown mulch. Yeah, exactly.
So
freshen up your mulch.
Yes.
Whatever that may be. So again, curb appeal is huge. So
one of the big things that people touch on that actually provides value is front doors, believe it or not. So depending again on the front door you have, if you have a newer door, maybe it's just a simple coat of paint and just makes that pop. If you have an older door, again, the dollar figure to replace a door, again, the curb appeal you're going to get from that, the attraction that it's going to draw on the buyer side is worth the, $300 to $500 it's going to cost you to purchase that new front door.
Yeah, and think about it from this perspective. It's kind of the first thing you see.
Yeah.
It's the first part of the house that you actually touch every single time. So yeah, it's an important statement. So a really nice front door, or even painting it. If you got a white house and you see the bright red door on it. People love that, man. The cool looking door, or I've even seen, like, we out of the beaches, we see a lot of that seafoam green color now that's on the front doors, which I really like. Whatever it is, wherever the neighborhood fits. I've seen blue door, bright blue, vibrant doors. Red is very popular. Obviously, it's been popular for a long time. Or even a solid wood door, maybe with the 3 panels with. You have the windows on 2 sides, however your entryway is, however big it is. But yeah, no, absolutely. Front door is a very big thing.
I was going to say, touching on that, I actually have a story here. So going back, and maybe we can put some photos up on the website afterwards, some before and after. So actually had picked up an expired listing back the end of September, had gone out, met with the customer, and kind of discussed, hey, look, they were on the market for 6 months. Nothing, not a lot of action, not a lot of offers. They had ended up dropping their price like over $30,000 over the span of that 6 months and still hadn't gotten a sale. So I'd gone in, kind of looked around, and you're looking around, it's a big 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, just over 2,000 square foot house, wonderful neighborhood. Everything's up kept, brick home. And again, it's like, you would walk in and think, hey, this looks great. And then to me, I think it looks great, but what are the little things? And going back to sometimes the little things, well, as opposed to everybody wants new now. So as opposed to the new white outlets with white covers, they had the old, light yellow kind of tinted,
yellow,
like almost like a yellowish toned outlets and outlet covers. Yeah. So your switches, everything you're touching, and then old gold door hardware, hinges, things like that. Now, again, with the decor nowadays, that was a simple, to me, I'm like, hey, let's swap some outlets, swap some covers.
It costs 99. It costs 89
let's do hardware
for 20 of them.
Yeah. To that, going back to a front door or inside, everybody's touching door handles. If you got an old door handle, guess what? You can swap one of those out for less than $10. And if you can swap every interior door or some hinges for a couple bucks, you can, again, spend maybe $100 to $200 on interior hardware, and your entire, interior space is going to change. Just from what's going to catch the peripherals on the eyes. I see a
lot of those, and I'll hit up the 3 things that I see the most. Is the older style wooden, the dark wood baseboards and trim.
Yep.
So the darker wood, you see that in a lot of, like we were talking about, 1980s built houses, early 90s. Really, it's probably late 70s to about early 90s is when they use the dark trim for everything on the baseboards, trim around door frames, molding, whatever it was. To now, what we see in most homes is white, which it's obviously a cleaner look, but redoing baseboard and stripping that off and putting up maybe even a 4-inch baseboard as opposed to a 3-inch makes the room feel a little bit bigger. And again, updating the white baseboard. People don't think about trim and baseboard. But honestly, you could probably hire a small contractor or a handyman to come in and do baseboard and trim on a whole, let's say 2,000 square foot. He'd probably do it for around $1 square foot, $2,000 on the whole home. Yeah. And that's a huge return because it just makes it look updated. And it's just a thing. It's a small thing, but it can really help you get top dollar at the end of the day. So another one is, you said the gold. You see a lot of gold hardware everywhere. Update it to a brushed nickel. Bottom line, silver nowadays is best, and we're almost getting more into interior design at this point.
Yeah.
But it is things that are fresh and people look at that makes them give an updated feel.
I was gonna say, it goes directly back to a neutral paint color. Oftentimes, buyers have a hard time getting past a paint color, even though we know that on the surface you can go buy a $30 gallon of paint at Home Depot, and boom, it's any color you want it to be, but they just can't see past it and they just get stuck. So same thing with the handles and hinges. It may be a simply, cheap thing. You may say it's only $10 worth of hardware, but they can't see past the gold, so.
Yeah. You got to give the buyer some sense of, oh man, they have updated this home. They have taken care of it. Yeah. The more updated it is, when you buy a home, that there's either 2 types of homes you want to buy: something that's completely redone or something that's not done at all. Yeah. And you don't really want to buy somebody who half-assed it the whole way. Oh, well, they didn't do this and they didn't do this. What else didn't they do? Is the question in your own head. So
the other side of that, which goes a little bit away from, I guess, actual updates, but almost removing your own, I guess, say ego or opinion out of your property, because I've walked into not only rentals, but also people selling a home, and it's, hey, we're going to leave this cabinet behind. Hey, we're going to leave these shelves on the wall. Maybe it's a floating shelf. Hey, we're going to leave this TV and TV bracket because we don't want to take it off and ruin the holes. Well, guess what? Not everybody that walks in your house wants to place the TV where you had the TV, or wants your TV, or wants the shelving that you have on the wall that you just don't want to take the time to take down. So things that you think are going to benefit the seller don't have, the value that you hold that to. The buyer thinks of that as an inconvenience, because unless they have your exact taste, Now it's an issue that they need to handle once they move in.
The TV bracket that you left doesn't add value to your home.
It does not.
No. No. So that was a $300 TV bracket. Well, congratulations. If you like it, you should take it with you.
Yeah.
Take it with you. So,
yes.
Man, I think that's about all we got. Appreciate you joining me and talking about some hacks and some rental stuff and some sales, and hope you guys learned a little bit. And Ryan, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
If you guys want to get in touch, Ryan.Robbins, it's RYAN and ROBBINS. Remember to put the dot in there at ERA.com. You can also check us out, NoBSRealEstatePodcast.com. And yeah, I'll have everything there. Or
that's it.
You're going to give your number. You know what? Call Matty and then tell him to reach out to me.
I'll always give you my phone number. 904-574-1958 is my phone number if you guys have any questions out there. Questions or concerns about buying, selling, investing, whatever you guys need. You can get at me at mattysales.com, which is my sales website. Well, I got 904rents.com, which is always behind Ryan. There's kind of all our brands, if you will. Matthew.miller@era.com is my email, which is going to change soon, actually, but that's a whole other conversation for later. Not I'm leaving ARA. No, it's not that. It's our email system setup is kind of wonky right now, so I'll just probably start using my Gmail account. Is much simpler, or it might be Matty@mattysales.com. I don't know. So one of the two. So yeah, feel free to reach out, guys, if you have any questions, concerns, things that we should talk about, things that we shouldn't talk about because we don't know what we're talking about, things like that, which I think we know what we're talking about for the most part. But other than that, man, I will enjoy your weekend, bud. We probably will not talk until after Christmas, I assume.
Yeah, I was going to say, what are you doing for the holidays?
I am having Christmas here in Florida, and then on the day after Christmas, I will be hopping on a plane heading to the Great White North of northern Indiana / Michigan area. So I will be up there for the holidays. I guess for New Year's for the most part.
Yeah, there you go. I was gonna say better a plane than a car. I know you've
I don't want to make that
drive a few times.
I've made it a few times. I'm done. So. All right. Well, what about you? Are you staying here?
I've got a closing this afternoon, so going from the closing then straight down to South Florida. So
okay, so you're going the opposite
family way. Yes, we're going down to West Palm. They're scattered between there and Miami, so we're gonna spend some time down south.
Party in the city where the heat is on. Welcome to Miami. Thank you, Will Smith, for that tidbit. So, all right, Big Willie style. On that note, we're gonna get out of here, and I hope you guys enjoy the show, and we'll talk to you later.
Yes, see you guys.
All right, see you.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, there's a few things I'd like you to do. Subscribe, leave a review, and head over to NoBSRealEstatePodcast.com where you can connect with Matt and I on all of the platforms we're on. Also, if you could do us a favor, leave a message letting us know what you enjoyed about the episode and what you'd like to hear about going forward.